How you doing? So I'm here to give you the best team and best hacks for glitch incursion. So I also want to talk about misconceptions when it comes to MCOC. So somebody asked me to do a full run guide, but I just cannot do that. That will take over an hour to do, plus the editing will take a long time as well. So somebody asked, can you do a full run guide please and do other heroes? To everyone else is doing guides with 7-star rank 4 when even a disabled person can clear with those heroes. What do you do is pure game knowledge. So I do really appreciate this comment right here. um so these are the best team. I'm gonna give you the timestamp as well if you want to know like specific teams you want to use and which hacks. But when you talk about individual champions in the game, these are the best champions when it comes to glitch incursion. And really, if you just want to keep it simple, just use Angela. She is just by far the best champion in incursion, like by a long shot. Okay, if you're like, I don't want to think, I want to get it done, don't think too hard, just use Angela with Odin synergy. Keep that in mind. And keep in mind, Heimdall will get a buff. I put him number 4 on this list. I could possibly even see him, Heimdall, being number 2 on this list. That's how good his buff is. He is a ramp up champion, keep that in mind. But I think he could be a contender for being the best buff in MCOC. I still think Mr. Sinister is better, but he's a good candidate for like one of the best buffs in MCOC. I can see Heimdall being anybody that's doing incursion. I can see Heimdall is in their team. Like any best team incursion, I can see Heimdall being in that team. That's for sure. So I will talk about Heimdall's buff in a separate video. But again, I know which champions are the best champions in incursion. Okay, that's I've been playing incursion. Like, yeah, why? Because I play incursion 24 hours a day. That's why. So as you could see here, Pepe, he was using a 7-star rank for Koye, and he got knocked out right here. And then you got Call of Legacy using Call Obsidian, and he's using also a 7-star rank 4 Call Obsidian, and he got knocked out right here. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm better than Pepe, and I'm probably not better than Legacy either. But what makes me good in Incursion is I know the team to use and what hacks to use. I kid you not, I use Angela, 6-star Angela, and it's on YouTube as well. Okay, I use only 6-star Angela, to complete all the way through zone 25 without losing a fight. From zone 1 to zone 25 using only Angela, 6-star Angela, without losing a fight all the way to zone 25. Okay, and with the exception of the first fight where I used Galen to make Angela Herald. Why is that? Because Angela is just the best champion in Incursion. There's no doubt about it, and other champions as well. So that's what I'm here to provide you. But before I do, I want to say something else. I will have a timestamp when the teams and hacks and stuff like that. So I did use a 7-star rank for Sig 200 Morbius to clear it my first time. Okay, I'm just gonna show you. Okay, now I just didn't just use 6 stars. I want to be transparent. I did use 7-star rank 4 to complete it my first time, and we're gonna show you. So as you can see here, I did. This is a 7-star rank 4 Morbius Sig 200. Why did they use Morbius in this case? Well, he's one of the best champions in Incursion. Besides that, not because he's a 7-star, it's because of his awaken ability, and really, as well as preferably at max sig. If Morbius is not awakened, this fight would have been a very hard fight for Morbius. Okay, but I did it pretty well considering considering that Ultron is bleed immune. Because if champion is bleed immune, if your Morbius is awakened, he's pretty much reflected. Instead of bleed, if they're bleed immune, they pretty much going to Morbius is going to inflict rupture instead. So that's why you really want Morbius awakened preferably, because without his awakening ability, you're really gonna have a hard time against bleed immune champion. In this case, there's gonna be a lot of robots for glitch incursion. So again, why did I use Morpheus? Because of his signature ability. Okay, I can tell you right now, when it comes to the top 7 on this list, glitch incursion best champions for incursion, uh besides Angela, okay, besides Angela on this list, none of the from 2 to 7, Hela, Mr. Sinister, Heimdall, Aegon, Hercules, Morpheus, Scream, or Morpheus, they would not be in the top 7 list, okay, except Angela if they were not awakened. Their signature ability is so valuable, okay, including Heimdall buff as well. So imagine having Hercules is like in incursion unawakened, or asking, does Hercules need to awaken? That's like, it's like, it's what's the color of grass? Is the grass green? Yes, of course, right? It's like, for some reason some people think that grass is blue or something. Yeah, that's just a silly question to ask. It's like, yeah, of course. Is the sky blue? Yes. Does Hercules need to awaken? Yes, of course. He needs to be awakened, preferably at max sig, especially in incursion. So those top 7 champions, except Angela, will not be on this in the top 7 list without their awakened ability. So let's talk about Morpheus and Angela. Why you need them to be awakened. By the way, I'm already at zone 90, okay? And I'm only using 6-star Angela as well. So so I just want to look at the health pool of this one. I'm in zone 90. It's over 24 million health. Okay? So why does Angela need to be awakened? By the way, I just duped my 7-star Angela. She's currently at rank 3. You don't need her to be at max sig, but it's like, it would be nice for her to be max sig, but 101 is like a good number for Angela to be awakened, sig level. But you do need her awaken ability. With the Odin free fight, you're always gonna pretty much start with 4 buffs, okay? So in most fights, so that's why you really want him to be at 101. That's gonna pretty much gonna make you immune to bleed, immune to nullify, and auto block. Let's just talk about the sig 200, because I do have the sig 200 Angela. Okay, it just looks better for some reason. Okay, so Angela has one of the best signature abilities in the game, arguably the best signature ability in MCOC. Okay, without her awaken ability, she cannot solo every fight. Let's talk about the most important one: damaging debuff duration. That's basically, if you have 3 buffs on you at max sig, she is immune to damaging debuff. Okay, so basically you're gonna be able to counter biohazard, what else? Biohazard, abomination, all kinds of damaging effect nodes in the game. Okay, without it, she's not gonna be very hard time to solo those fights. But with it, she's pretty much, those are not going to be a issue for her. Okay, so that's why you really want her to be awakened when it comes to Angela. Okay, and prepare be at max sig, but like I mentioned earlier, 101 is fine. Sig 101. And her, and somebody say for damage reason, uh like, she doesn't need to be awakened, right? Well, technically she does, because of nullify. She's immune to nullify if you have awakened and you have 3 buffs on you at max sig. What is this? Like, you're gonna have hard time with some mystic champions, if you don't have Angela awaken, okay? Because they're gonna nullify your buffs. There's buffet node as well, which is not good for pretty much any champion in the game. There's power snack as well. All kinds of nodes though that can nullify your buffs, which is not good for you. And the fact that Angela is immune to nullify, basically, it's a very powerful ability to have. Not only that, he can counter auto block, like Medusa. Medusa is in a lot of these fights. Okay, she auto blocks, so which is really annoying. Okay, so she can counter Medusa as well. So when it comes to Angela, okay, like, she has like 3 of the best abilities in her signature ability. If a champion had this nullify ability alone from their signature ability, or auto block alone, or immune to damage over time, basically, that they're pretty much like, that's good. Okay, that's a good signature ability. You want them to be awakened. But the fact that he has all three of them from her signature ability is crazy how valuable it is when it comes to her signature ability. So some people say, Angela, does Angela need to be awakened? It's another question. Is the grass green? Yes. Duh. Okay. For some people, I think to them is grass is blue or something. I don't know, but I saw this from the comment section in another video, like asking, does Angela need to be awakened? Yes. Okay. Absolutely yes. Without it, she's not gonna be able to solo every fight in Incursion. Simple as that. Okay. What else? Something else to note. I know somebody mentioned this in the comment section. Uh, like it, definitely not correct. I don't have 7 stars, so this is perfect. Come on, where's he at? When it comes to Odin, you need to have at least a 4 star Odin. Somebody asked like, what? I only have Odin as a 5 star, and then somebody mentioned it from a different channel. Oh, any rarity of Odin works for Angela synergy. That's not true. Okay, the 2 star is not gonna work. Okay, 3 star is not gonna work either, and you need at least a 4 star. 4 star Odin for this synergy with Angela, plus 5% buff potency for each fight the team has won. So that's very valuable to have with Angela. And what else? So let's talk about Morbius, why you want him to be awakened. I think I kind of pretty much talked about it. They're both SIG 200, both of my champions here. The 6 star and the 7 star. So his signature ability is so valuable. Okay, without a doubt, top 10 most important signature ability in the game, especially when it comes to Incursion. Because let's talk about the Undying passive. Okay, that's probably like that's not quite Corvus Glaive level ability, but it's so powerful. Okay, he's pretty much cannot get knocked out, cannot die from like non-damaging debuffs like bleed, poison, degen, recoil, I believe power sting as well. So all these damaging effects, he cannot get knocked out, I believe. So I think that's what happened, but it doesn't say that on his. It says direct damage, which is kind of weird. I'm pretty sure it's all damaging effects now. Not only that, like since you're facing so many robots, you want him to be preferably at max sig. So instead of applying bleed to them, you're gonna apply rupture at 100% at the same rate as if you were inflicting bleed. If you don't have a max sig, you're gonna have a low chance of applying rupture on them if they're bleed immune. So keep that in mind. That's why we really want Morbius awaken and preferably at max sig, especially going up against robots. So let's talk about the best team when it comes to incursions. So this is the first team build. This is going to be Odin, Hela, and Heimdall on your team. As you can see here, this is already posted in my channel. These are not perfect hacks, but these are decent. Okay, they're fine. They're better than, I would say, almost perfect, I would say. But I will give you a different hack which I think are better. So I pretty much, I did. This was not a perfect run. I did lose 2 fights, I believe, with Hela before Zone 11. Okay, but from Zone 11 to Zone 15, I only use Hela to solo every fight. So I soloed 20 straight fights from Zone 11 to Zone 15 using only 6-star Hela. So keep in mind, Heimdall will be getting a buff. Even though I only use Hela here, Heimdall will be getting a buff where he could be useful. Okay, so we're not going to go through the whole thing. It's in the YouTube channel if you want to check it out. As you can see, there's the title of the video, and we're just going to go through the last fight, and I'm going to show you which hacks to use. Okay, so we're not going to go through this one. We're just going to watch the last fight. Okay, we'll go watch Ultron fight, see how this one goes. So this is Hela, and like I said, it's really valuable. As you can see here, if you don't have Hela awaken, she would not have that indestructibility. Okay, that is very valuable. You want her awakened, preferably at max sig. This would not. I would be pretty much knocked out right now if it wasn't for her awaken ability, I believe. Okay, so keep that in mind. So from this, since because of her awakened ability, this fight was not that difficult. Okay, so there you go. This is zone 15 using what do you call this? Hela, Heimdall, and Odin. As you can see here, these are what I think are, who knows if they're perfect, but I know these are really good hacks for Hela, Heimdall, and Odin team. This is, keep in mind, more designed for Hela, and since Heimdall's not buff yet, and I only used Hela for this fight, so guaranteed hacks you really want to have with Hela is Second Chance, Rage into Combat, Proud Degeneration, and Defensive Cascade. Those 4 hacks you really want to have with Hela. Okay, those are the 4 most important hacks, and they're guaranteed. You really would prefer to have plus 50% stun duration. That's not guaranteed. Special refund is also good, and special augmentation, where you're pretty much tripling your crit rating when you throw a special attack. So that's going to be helpful for the common hacks, but they're not guaranteed. So Fury Burst, number 5, 6, Fire Kinetics, Entropic Shield, and Hemostatic Charge. So if you don't get Entropic Shield, do not get Hemostatic Charge with Hela. It's pretty much useless. Okay, strategic movement is also nice. If so, you can go with strategic movement, and then Entropic Shield if that comes to mind. Fights you want to avoid with Hela is usually Mystic Champions and Tranquility, because she's not immune to Nullify. But with Heimdall synergy on your team and him getting a buff, he's Fate Seal immune if you have him awaken. Okay, so he could be useful against Mystic Champions. He's also pretty much immune to Neutralize as well when it comes to Heimdall buffs. So that might not be an issue. Just use Heimdall against Mystic Champions, but you still have to watch for Tranquility, because they're just not going to be able to beat opponents fast enough for Tranquility to not trigger. So these are Hela and Heimdall and Odin team and hacks. So this is the Bullseye, Heimdall, and Spider Woman team. I do think they work really well together, and keep in mind, Heimdall will be getting a buff. So I never used Heimdall for this run. So as you can see here, from pretty much from zone 11 to zone 15, I was able to use them. And keep in mind, you really want to have Toxic Siphon with this team, and Tide of Combat, and Hemostatic Charge. Those are the 3 most important hacks to have. You saw how much regen he was getting there? Okay, look at that. He was pretty much getting to full health, losing health and still getting to full health because of those hacks. Okay, and one thing about Bullseye, I think when it comes to Bullseye against if a champion can bleed, I think he's the best counter with hacks. Okay, if they can bleed, because he can counter miss, and not only he can counter miss, his hits are guaranteed bleeds. Okay, so you're always inflicting bleed on them. That means you're always inflicting a power sting as well. What else? And then power sting on yourself. If you have him awaken probability at max sig, like, it doesn't even matter, because it doesn't do anything for you. She's pretty much immune to power sting, so which really helps you just be able to constantly throw your special attack when it comes to Morbius. So there you go. And this fight was not that long either. And this is zone 15, keep in mind. Okay, so let's talk about the next one. This is zone 15 using, this is reverse control. For some reason, I thought Spider Woman is reverse control immune, but I guess not. You know, I didn't originally have Spider Woman on my list, but after playing with her and seeing other people use her, I think she belongs to be the top 10 best champions in Incursions, or top 11 if I'm not mistaken. Even though she got nerfed, that's why I didn't have her on the list, because she got nerfed. But even with the nerf, I think she still belongs if the top 11 or top 10 best champions when it comes to Incursions, I believe. Okay, and Bullseye also. Okay, they did nerf Tide of Combat, so that nerfs pretty much Spider Woman and Bullseye especially, but they're still, I think, a good team. So this is zone 15 completion. These are my hacks again. They're pretty good. They're pretty close to perfect, but I think I'd rather give you guys what I think are better hacks. Okay, so these are what I would prefer when it comes to hacks for Bullseye, Spider Woman, and Heimdall. So these are the boss hacks. I would say guaranteed hacks you want to have is Hemostatic Charge, Tide of Combat, Toxic Siphon, Second Chance. Those are hacks you want to have, and those are guaranteed. Common hacks, they're not guaranteed, but these one I would get. Okay, let me make it nicer. So there you go. I made it nicer. So for this team, you want to have hemostatic, charge, title combat. Those are the first two hacks you really want to get. You're gonna get that in zone one, and then really try to get toxic siphon. Toxic siphon is a must, especially if you're running damage mastery. I want to show you a showcase when with that happening. Okay, second chance is also nice to have, for sure. Okay. Rage in the combat is good. I think there's pretty much a very good chance if you're gonna pick 5 hacks, you're gonna be able to get rage in the combat. It's not guaranteed, but you're almost like a very good chance you'll get rage in the combat. And then plus 50% stun duration, not guaranteed, but it's really valuable to have. Special refund, definitely a really good uh, common hack to have as well. So fights you want to avoid is biohazard. Since Heimdall's getting a buff, and with the Herald ability, he's almost 100% bleed resistant, 95% bleed resistant with the Herald ability. And if you have Coagulate, he could be 100% bleed resistant, and yeah, 100% bleed resistant. So Biohazard and 95% poison resistant. Okay, when it comes to Heimdall, he's 60. Oh no, never mind. My bad. Okay, so he's 60% poison resistant. Okay, with the Gallon ability, you'll be 95% poison resistant. And if you have 3 points in Coagulate and the Heimdall and the Herald ability, he could be 65% bleed resistant. So Biohazard would not be that bad if you're using Heimdall for that fight. So with his buff, so Biohazard might not be an issue. But right now, if you're gonna use Heimdall or this team, there's definitely gonna be an issue. So that's some fight you want to avoid with this team. So this is really why you want to have Toxic Siphon at the very beginning, like not the first zone, not necessarily if you're playing well. At least you want to get it on the second zone. If you don't get it at the second zone, I would just go exit out and come back out. This is only if you're really running damage mastery, but if you're not running damage mastery, it's not an issue. As you can see here, the bleed is going to trigger my Heimdall synergy, and then the recoil is going to make me lose the fight. So very valuable to have Toxic Siphon in the very beginning if you're running damage mastery with that team. Keep that in mind. So in here, I decided to get, instead of Toxic Siphon, I got Rage into Combat. So I do think Rage into Combat is really fun to have with Bullseye, especially. That will also benefit Spider Woman, but really benefits a lot for Bullseye. And you could see this is really fun. Okay, with let's try it. Let's go. See, he can basically throw consecutive special ones. Not really sure why exactly, but he can. With Rage in the Combat, you're gonna gain power right away, and I'm gonna have as many as 51 power sting for against Guardian. Unfortunately, they nerfed Tide of Combat, so as you can see here, I would normally have like 50 Furies instead of 10. But did you see that? That was over 3 million, I believe, and this is a 6-star, by the way. Okay, without boost, over 3.1 million health damage with a power sting. So that is unfortunate. Like I mentioned, they did nerf Tide of Combat. So right here, he unfortunately he threw it like when I had 47 power sting. That would be nice if he did it at 50 at least, but I only have 10 furies because that's the max with Tide of Combat. But literally before, it was pretty much for every hemostatic charge you have or heavy power sting you had, it was a fury buff basically. But they nerfed it, so it's unfortunate. Okay, so this is the next team you want to have. This is going to be as you can see here, with Spider Woman on your team and Bullseye, you want to have Tide of Combat and hemostatic charge. But with what is this? With Morbius on your team, you would prefer to have Hemostatic and Fury Burst. Fury Burst doesn't help Bullseye that much, but it does help uh, Morbius a lot more because against bleed immune champions. So this was not a very good start, but this would be like because of his abilities from the Fury Burst and the Hemostatic. This was like pretty fast fight. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's go Morbius. Let's see how Morbius will do. So again, you need to have Morbius awaken, preferably at max sig, because he's gonna be. This is gonna be a very hard fight for Morbius if you have him unawakened. Okay. So there you go. Come on, Morbius. Oh, yeah. So my start so far was not very good, but as you know, it's still early, so that's good. And the good thing about Morbius, like he cannot get knocked out from recoil, bleed, or poison if you have him awakened. So yeah. So this is going to be, which team is this again? This is going to be, what do you call this? These are the hacks I was using, but I just started. Keep in mind. Uh, what else? What was I doing here? Yeah. So damage over time effects really helpful for Morbius, but it doesn't do anything for Bullseye. So I did get special attack uh, accuracy and attack rating instead because that would benefit both of them. Okay. So the second one, what did I get? So if you don't get the right hack for the second one, just exit out of there. So I got very lucky. I got Toxic Siphon. So you really want to have Toxic Siphon with the Power Sting build because you're gonna gain a lot of health from that. So that's the team. Okay, so it's gonna be Morbius, Heimdall, and Bullseye. So keep in mind, since Heimdall's not buff, these are pretty much the Power Sting build. Okay, so Bullseye and Morbius with Heimdall as well. So Heimdall will be getting a buff. So if you want to, you should rank up your 6-star if you have him and really awaken him, preferably at max sig. So guaranteed hacks to have. Oh, my bad. Shoot. This is the Spider Woman one. So this is for Morbius, Bullseye, and Heimdall one. I meant I was showing you Spider Woman and Bullseye team, but that was my bad. So this is with Morbius, Bullseye, and Heimdall. So these are, I would say, mostly for design for Morbius, but this will also work for Bullseye hacks. Okay, Hemostatic Charge, Fury Burst, those are must to have. Toxic Siphon is the third hack you want to get, and Second Chance is 4. Those are guaranteed hacks. You really want to get those. The common hack is not hacks is not guaranteed, but you really want to have plus 50% stun duration and special refund. That will definitely help both of the champions for sure, because you can definitely do a medium, and with pyrokinetics, you're going to inflict incinerate on them. Okay, medium, and then you do a 5-hit combo, which also going to inflict incinerate as well. So title combat, it will definitely really help Bullseye for sure. So pyrokinetics is probably more valuable to Morbius. So if you had to choose both, either one for Morbius, I would say Pyrokinetics is more valuable because that's an extra debuff, damaging debuff on the opponent that only increases his damage for his special too. And Tropic Shield, even if they're bleed immune, like Ultron or something like that, you do a medium. If you have a what do you call that, Bulwark passive, you're gonna inflict a bleed. If they're bleed immune, he's gonna inflict a rupture instead. If you have Morbius awaken, Rage in the combat, it's also nice to have, especially with Bullseye. Fights you want to avoid Lumitrix. I don't expect Lumitrix to be on this Glitch Incursion, and he is a rare champion. And if you do run into Lumitrix, Heimdall buff is going to take care of him, I think, without a problem. So if you run into Lumitrix, just use Heimdall because he is bleed immune. He's also rupture immune, so you can't even use Morbius for Lumitrix. So these are the hacks, and really, if you that's it. Now we're getting to the like really the best team in Incursion. Okay, this is gonna be Mr. Sinister, Blue Cyclops, and Heimdall on your team. Okay, pretty much any champion that you're gonna have Incursion, especially with Heimdall buff, is gonna be on your team. I can see that for sure when it comes to his Heimdall buff, man, which I'm gonna talk about in a separate video. You know, it's funny. I got very lucky when it comes to the buffs. At least for the boss hacks, these are exactly what I wanted to get for the boss hacks. I did reroll, I believe, when it comes to the boss hacks, and I got plus 50% stun duration, which is I got really lucky. So keep in mind, from this, I had not lost a fight all the way to zone 30. Okay, and I didn't even lose, as you could see. I can't really see it, but I won 105 straight fights with this team. I'm not kidding. I won 105 straight fights with Blue Cyclops, Mr. Sinister, and with Heimdall Synergy. Heimdall Synergy, of course, he's not buff yet, so it didn't really do anything for my team, and it was mostly Mr. Sinister. Really, from like zone 16 to what? Zone all the way to zone 35. I used what's that, 60 straight fights. I used only Mr. Sinister, and that's why he is the king of incursions. So I soloed 6 straight fights with him. Oh no, what to do? And this is really why you want Heimdall on your team, because of that. Okay, if I didn't have Heimdall and I didn't have second chance, I would have been KO right there. So with that Heimdall synergy, it's so valuable to have in your team, and that's why I finished with like almost 100% yellow bar here. Okay, so that's it. Really, that was my team. I got all the way to zone 35 in incursion. Okay, without losing a fight. That is higher than using Angela and Odin on the team, and with Heimdall synergy, undefeated all the way to zone 35. I did lose by the time I get to zone 36, the boss fight at zone 36, where I ran to Abomination. He had a really tough note to have, but with yeah. So let's look at the hacks. So these are the hacks. As I mentioned, when I show you the boss hacks, I got very lucky when it comes to the boss hack. All the boss hacks that you saw earlier was exactly the same I have on this list, which I had the list 3 days before I even did that of those matches. So I got very lucky. I was able to get the exact boss hacks. I also got plus 50% stun duration, which is really nice, and special refund really would benefit Cyclops so much. That's very valuable for him. So those are really hacks that you want to have when it comes to Mr. Sinister, Blue Cyclops, and Heimdall. Like I mentioned, I won 105 straight fights. Actually, 107 straight fights without losing a fight with Mr. Sinister and Blue Cyclops, and the team will. And mostly Mr. Sinister from zone 16 to zone 35, 60 straight fights. Mr. Sinister won all of them. And Blue Cyclops was just an emotional support. So that's why he is the king of incursions. Fights you want to avoid, none. I did run into Abomination, which was a problem. I think it's possible it could have been soloed, but with Heimdall buff, Heimdall could now take on poison immune champions because he's 60% poison resistant. With the Herald ability, he would be 95% poison resistant. That is crazy. Okay, and he cheeses those fights as well, Abomination fights, which I'm going to talk about when it comes to Heimdall's buff. Okay, so these are the hacks. So with Heimdall buff, this is going to be without a doubt the best team in incursions, without a doubt. Heimdall buff, Odin, and Angela. Okay, at least below zone 100. I think you can make an argument with Angela and Hela and Odin on the team past zone 100, and I do plan to bring Hela in incursion at passing zone 100 when there's no more hacks. So I will take out Heimdall, but below zone 100, when Heimdall gets above, this is going to be the best team in incursion. Okay, and look at this, I'm in zone 90 already. Okay, if you want to take a look at my hacks, these are my hacks. I think the boss hacks are, it's fine. I really didn't think about keep it going was a very good hack, but because it's been nerfed, but it's fine. Perhaps I could have preferred pyrokinetics instead of keep it going, but there was a really tough fight where I ran into tyranny against Emma Frost, and she was in diamond form pretty much the whole time. But since I was able to inflict armor break on Emma Frost, uh, what do you call that? She was pretty much in telepathic form the entire time with Tyranny, and I didn't even know she was a hero. I thought she was a villain because in the X-Men, I think she was a villain in the movie. So it's kind of surprising to me that she is a hero, not a villain. So keep it going. These are pretty much, I think, the perfect boss hacks. I would, you can go with pyrokinetics over keep it going. Okay, these are fine. I really would wish I got special refunds night too. I really wish I had like plus 50% stun duration. Would have been really nice. Uh, if I could trade one thing here instead of armor rating plus 1000 armor rating plus 50% stun duration would be, this would probably been the perfect hack to have in Incursion, I would say. Uh, Pretty close to it at least. Okay. I wasn't gonna show you a gameplay because, if I think most people already know Angela is the best champion in Incursion, and there's a lot of videos I have when it comes to Angela gameplay. Even going before going to Zone 90, it's already posted on the YouTube channel, and there's other people that use Angela as well. But why not show you a gameplay? Okay, let me guess. I was gonna post this in a later time, but you guys to see it. Spoiler alert! Spoiler video for you guys. So I was gonna show this video, like, not right now, but you guys, spoiler alert, you get to see it first. So let's take a look at it. This, keep in mind, this is Old Man Logan with over 19 million health. Okay, and he's also the boss. Let's see how fast Angela can beat this. Can you guys guess how fast? And I will bet nobody will guess it right. Okay, 19 million health with 6-star Angela. Okay, if you blink, you missed it. That was 19 million health in 5 seconds. Okay, 5 seconds, 19 million health. This is why Angela is the best champion in Incursion, without a doubt. Okay, so let's take a look at the hacks you want to use with her. So the first 4 hacks are the must-have hacks you want when it comes to boss hacks. Those are gonna be guaranteed. So you want to have Fury Burst and Rage in the combat. I think that's probably better. And then you can always get second chance. I would say the third hack, or if not the fourth hack, because you will have Heimdall in your team. So you could get Fury Burst and Rage in the combat first. It would probably be better. It doesn't really matter. You can go with second chance and Fury Burst first, but the first 4 hacks you really want to have with Angela. Those are the guaranteed hacks you want to have at least. And I do have Tidal Combat and Pyrokinetics instead of Popcorn, instead of Keep It Going. But if you have Keep It Going instead of Pyrokinetics, you should be fine. I would prefer Pyrokinetics, especially if you're only going to Zone 15. Defensive Cascade is nice to have. Proud Degeneration as well. Proud Degeneration is not necessarily, especially if you're going to Zone 15 only. You could probably replace that with Keep It Going, since it's not going to make a difference for Angela, because she's going to be doing like 10 million damage, and there's really no point for her to be doing 10 million damage if you're only going to Zone 15. So probably would replace that with Keep It Going instead of Proud Degeneration. Fights you want to avoid, none. So 90, not quite 90, but around there. I took on 267 fights. I didn't solo every fight, okay, but I felt like every fight that I took that I didn't solo, I was able to solo with Angela. Okay, so there's really no fights that Angela cannot solo when it comes to Incursion, especially if you have the right hacks. And the fact that Heimdall's getting a buff, ay caramba. So that's it. Those are the best team. These are the best hacks to use for them.